But one thing is, you have volunteered to testify at the trial, correct?
Not as of yet. Actually, I was subpoenaed.
Okay.
So my attorneys worked something out. So I believe when the time is right, I'm going to discuss it with my attorneys.
But you're willing to?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, I am.
Yes, it's happening. Al B sure is officially back, and he's stepping up to take the stand to spill everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything he knows about Diddy. One thing about Al, he's never switched up his story, not once. Word on the street is that Al is one of the people lined up to testify in Diddy's trial, and if he repeats the same things he's been saying for years, it's going to be a serious blow to Diddy's character. And with everything on the line right now, this is not the kind of heat Diddy needs. But that's not even the half of it. Al is also throwing in some new tea about Kim Porter's situation, and trust, it's deep. Before Kim ever got with Diddy, she was in a serious relationship with Al B. Sure, not only did they have their son Quincy together, but Kim even confirmed that she was the inspiration behind Al's hit song, Forever My Lady. That's already wild. But wait for this next part. According to Al, they weren't just dating. He claims they were actually married. Yep, married. He first dropped that revelation in an interview with Fox Soul, where he said, "Every time I post something, I forget. It's me. I'm a grandfather, so my concern is not being popular and trying to get numbers and likes. That's not what I do. But I posted something the other day talking about my ex-wife. Yeah, I said it, my ex-wife Kimberly, but nobody knew because we didn't discuss being married. We didn't discuss that. Every now and then, Al B sure posts a tribute to Kim Porter, and it's clear he never stopped caring. See, even after they split up, Al and Kim managed to keep things cool between them. But here's where it gets serious.
It's been quite a journey, and as I said, even as it relates to writing the book, I went through many, almost, more than a decade of being scrutinized and clowned by law enforcement, them telling me, you need some help. Sex trafficking, really? What's wrong with you? No way, but not realizing that they were all.
If there's one person who's never stopped saying something shady went down with Kim's passing, it's Al. Y'all might remember when that alleged book of Kim's dropped. Yeah, the one packed with secrets and diary entries. Al immediately jumped on Instagram with a reaction. He reposted a screenshot of Extra's headline, "Diddy's late ex Kim Porter revealed his twisted secrets and alleged diary entries." And his caption? Straight fire. Al wrote, 2009 through 2018. Y'all said Al B sure has lost his mind and told him to go sit down when he stated this verbatim over time and again on the day of KP's ignored by law enforcement when he shared what LKP told him out of desperation and warned him to watch his back as well. Bad things. Y'all said, please somebody get Al some medical help. He's lost his mind. People tried to write him off, but he's been screaming this for years. And it gets even more wild. In March 2024, Al straight up suggested that Diddy had something to do with his coma back in 2022. He didn't hold back. He hinted that Diddy might have been involved and said he's working on a documentary that's gonna leave everybody speechless. But let's be real, Al B sure had already been blowing the whistle long before any of this recent drama hit. Back in November 2021, he made a bold claim. In the time leading up to Kim Porter's passing, she was running from someone or something. And Al even said he told her straight up, call the FBI. That's how serious he thought it was. But not long after dropping that post, Al edited the last part of the caption and deleted the FBI reference. Instead, he changed it to say Kim was running a marathon. That move got people talking. Was he being silenced? Was there pressure behind the scenes? It left more questions than answers. Al also shared the heartbreaking moment he found out Kim had died. He wrote, I just found this footage from the morning I learned of at Lady KP's, aka # Kim Porter's death, and how it ripped the soul from my physical body, and he didn't hold back. Al said loud and clear, I do know very clearly that your Kimberly didn't just check out all of a sudden over pneumonia. That's some BS. Really, this is where I get in trouble. And what really shook people, he tagged Diddy directly in the post. He wanted Diddy to see it. He added, we just celebrated our son at Quincy's new deal and Christmas special with at Netflix, and she was in fantastic health as well, laughing, seeing me, and at Diddy's mutual exchange at the theater. I'm gonna leave it here. Well, guess what? Al's still standing by everything he said, and he's saying it all again now. So now Al B. Sure is turning all this into a tell-all memoir, and the title says it all, Do You Believe Me? Now, set to drop this fall. He's promising to lay it all out, no filter. From his personal experiences to his run-ins with Diddy, he's putting the truth on the table, no matter how messy it gets. Al even dropped a serious claim. He says Diddy and some of his people might have had something to do with the medical crisis that nearly killed him.
So do you think specifically then that Sean Diddy Combs or people affiliated with him did something to you that caused you to have multi-organ failure?
I believe this to be the case, yes. Absolutely.
Wow.
That's right. He suffered multi-organ failure, and now he's connecting the dots out loud. He says there was a bounty on his head, and the moment he started speaking up about Diddy, everything changed. He was suddenly facing all kinds of pressure, and it doesn't stop there. Al also revealed that he's been subpoenaed in connection to Diddy's trial, and he's not backing down. He's ready to testify. He made it real clear. This ain't about clout, attention, or chasing fame. He said he's just focused on living his truth. No gimmicks, no spin. And let's be honest, Al's not just pulling this stuff out of nowhere. There are still a bunch of questions about Kim Porter's death that no one's been able to explain. Like the blood that was allegedly found on her pillowcases. And the small trail of blood that went from the bedroom floor all the way to the bathroom. Matter of fact, reports say Kim wasn't even found in bed. She was discovered on the bathroom floor. So if people claim she was in bed, someone moved her. And don't forget, the original coroner who ran that first autopsy? Even they raised red flags about foul play because of a suspicious amount of toxins found in her system. Here's the rewritten fifth piece, keeping every detail intact while turning up the drama and suspicion. It stays within guidelines, adds bold energy, and keeps the language simple, raw, and gripping, exactly as requested. Now here's where things get even darker. Kim Porter's last phone call was reportedly to 911 at 2:43 a.m., but she wasn't found until nearly 9 hours later, around 11 a.m. the next morning. That time gap alone raises a ton of questions. Not too long ago, reports came out saying Kim's family was actively seeking legal advice, and they were ready to hit Diddy with a wrongful death lawsuit. Why? Because they claim to have physical evidence that backed their suspicions. So when Al B. Sure keeps speaking up, saying he's suspicious about what happened to Kim, it's not just guesswork. He knows exactly what he's saying.
Yes, many, many years ago, I posted some information that was, basically trying to save my life. And thank goodness to my ex, the wonderful Kim Porter, the late Kim Porter, who, kind of warned me all along the way to, just kind of watch your back, so on and so forth. And I didn't understand why.
Because of Diddy.
And here's the part that gives everybody chills. Almost everyone who worked closely with Diddy when Kim was alive, they're dead. The only one still here, besides Diddy, is Al B. Sure. And let's not forget, Al barely survived after slipping into that coma. Kim was more than just Diddy's ex. She was the longest working employee at Uptown Records. She was there from day one, starting as Andre Harrell's personal assistant. But now, Kim is gone. Heavy D, gone. Andre Harrell, gone. And the only ones left standing are Diddy and Al. Coincidence? Or something more? It gets even sketchier. Heavy D was found face down, reportedly dying from a heart attack. Andre Harrell? Same story. Heart attack. And Kim? The official cause was said to be pneumonia. But all three dying mysteriously like that? It's got people raising their eyebrows. Now here's where things really flip. Every single one of them was working on a major project before they passed. Andre was writing a book. Heavy D was also working on a book. Al was creating a documentary before falling into that coma. And Kim? She was writing a book too. There was one version of Kim's book that came out, but it couldn't be verified. The real one? Rumors say it had explosive details about how Kim warned Al B. Sure to stay away from Diddy. She allegedly told him not to show up to certain places because she knew what Diddy was capable of. But here's something that's really got folks whispering. Why does it seem like every time someone gets too close to exposing something about Diddy, something tragic happens? People have been side-eyeing the pattern for years, and now with Al B. Sure speaking out more boldly than ever, the heat is rising again. Al's made it clear he's not scared. In fact, he recently posted a message saying he's done being quiet and that he owes it to the people to tell the truth. He's even hinted that he's got receipts, real evidence to back up what he's saying. And apparently, some of those receipts go way back. Photos, recordings, even private messages that might connect a few dots people have been trying to piece together for years. And don't forget, insiders have been whispering that Kim wasn't just writing a tell-all book, she was also collecting proof. Some say she had stashed away tapes, notes, and files about her time with Diddy and everything she witnessed over the years. Word is, some of that never made it out, but pieces might still be floating around. Plus, Al hinted in a live stream that after his coma, he started remembering things he hadn't talked about before. He said he's now seeing the full picture and that he's ready to name names. That's got people wondering. Who else knew? Who stayed quiet? And how deep does this actually go? And now it looks like Al B. Sure might not be the only one ready to talk. Behind the scenes, there's buzz that other people who used to be tight with Diddy are quietly lawyering up, and a few might be considering stepping forward. Word is, a couple of them already got subpoenas, and they're not trying to go down protecting someone else's mess. Al even said in a recent interview that once he started speaking out, his phone started blowing up. People he hadn't talked to in years were hitting him up, some with warnings, but others, they were sharing their own stories, stuff they saw, stuff they heard. And now it sounds like Diddy's circle isn't as locked in as it used to be. See, when people start realizing they were used or left out to dry, loyalty fades quick. And according to Al, some folks who were once loyal to Diddy are now starting to question everything, especially with all the lawsuits, investigations, and headlines piling up. Nobody wants to be the next one caught in the crossfire. And let's not ignore what Al said about feeling watched ever since he started pushing back. He claims his calls are being monitored, his movements tracked, and that people have tried to scare him quiet. But he's not folding. He said this time, he's speaking for Kim, for himself, and for everyone else who was forced into silence. Now here's where things get next level. Kim Porter was allegedly preparing to tell it all, and what she was ready to expose would have rocked the industry to its core. She was reportedly planning to reveal that Diddy had roughed her up on more than one occasion, kept her isolated, and messed with her head to the point where she felt trapped. And it doesn't stop there. According to what was said to be in her book, Kim claimed she was pressured into using certain things in the bedroom to please Diddy, including a strap-on, and would break down in tears alone right after. That's how deep the pain went. She also believed her house was being bugged, that her phone lines were tapped, and that Diddy had people on payroll keeping eyes on her every move. On top of that, Kim allegedly said Diddy was trying to take full custody of the twins, but she stood her ground. She threatened that if he ever tried to take her kids, she'd bring everything to light, allegedly. But the real bomb, Kim's book was also rumored to include details tying Diddy into that long-standing East Coast versus West Coast drama. She allegedly wrote that there was fake beef created behind the scenes just to set up Tupac and Biggie so people in power could snatch their masters. Yep, word is, Pac and Big were planning to team up and challenge Bad Boy and Death Row to get full control over their music, and someone wanted to stop that. And it gets even more explosive. Kim was reportedly going to speak on Diddy's secret relationships with other men, some of whom she claimed were taken advantage of. That allegedly included Usher. Again, we said allegedly. But here's the wild twist. One part of that book even threw Al B. Sure into the fire. It claimed Kim once walked in on something between Diddy and Al that shook her so bad, she left the house, crossed the street, and went into a china shop just to breathe. In her alleged words, it took her soul so far back she had to escape the energy. Now this next part, it's one of the most awkward and jaw-dropping alleged moments in the book that people still can't stop talking about. So reportedly, there was a conversation between Al B. Sure, Kim and Diddy that started off innocent, but quickly took a weird turn. According to what's written, Al told Kim, "It's still weird seeing you with my friend, but you're happy. So, I'm happy for you guys." And Sean responded, "Thanks, man. Me and you, we've shared so much." Al replied coolly, "Word." But then it got awkward real quick. Sean allegedly said, "We've all been together sexually, but not together." The room went silent. Kim, shocked, asked, "What do you mean by all together?" And right then, the vibe completely shifted. Al apparently looked uncomfortable, but Sean didn't miss a beat. He said something like, "You know how we sometimes invite other people into our bed?" That's when Kim said she couldn't believe what she was hearing. She was stunned. She even turned to Al and said, "This is my son's father. Say something." And Al's response, according to the book, he said, "I don't know. It could be kind of hot. I miss you in that way." That one line had Kim completely thrown, because as much as she couldn't believe what Sean had suggested, she also admitted in the book that she still had feelings for Al, and the whole moment had her seriously torn. She allegedly started questioning everything: how it could affect her relationship, how it would impact Quincy if things got messy, and whether this strange proposition could even work. She even said she imagined what it might look like, admitting it would be awkward, messy, and intimate in a way she wasn't prepared for. Now listen, Al has already come forward and strongly denied these claims. He called them complete lies and said he would sue if needed. But with so many people focused on what he said about Kim and Diddy, the attention keeps circling back. Still, some folks are side-eyeing Al, saying he's not always trustworthy and has a habit of making things about himself. So while some believe his side, others aren't buying any of it, and the divide is real. Let's not forget, right after Quincy made a public statement saying all the conspiracy talk around Kim's death was causing serious stress for him and his siblings, Al B. Sure was busy flooding social media with a bunch of strange, cryptic posts. Instead of backing off out of respect for the family, it felt like he was stirring things up even more. And when that alleged memoir surfaced with Al's name in it, he didn't seem shaken by what was being said about Kim. He seemed more pressed that he was mentioned at all. In one caption, he straight up said he was going to sue. But to a lot of people watching, it looked like he cared more about defending his own name than anything else, and yeah, that rubbed some folks the wrong way. Then, just to add more gas to the fire, Al went online questioning why Quincy was still following the man who put hands on his mother. That stirred a whole new wave of debate. Some said Al was standing up for what's right. Others felt like he was turning the spotlight back on himself. But now, with Al expected to take the stand, all eyes are on what he's going to say next. Will he bring the heat? Will he finally tell it all? Is he about to drop the kind of truth bombs that change everything? Either way, this trial is about to be crazy. And you don't want to miss a single twist. So make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next video. Drop your thoughts in the comments, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and I'll catch you in the next one.